Gophers. Welcome back to the Bank of Time GoLang series, where we explore the fascinating world of the Go programming language. Today we have an exciting topic lined up for you, basic data types in Go. We're here again with Renee.
Hi, everyone.
Well, Renee, we'll start by learning the basic data types in Go, such as integers, floats, booleans, and strings. To make things even more exciting, we'll head over to the Go playground to see those data types in action. Now that we're on the Go playground, and the link for that is in the description, let's begin with integers. In Go, we have different sizes for integers, ranging from int 8 to int 64, depending on the number of bits they occupy. The int type is the platform-dependent default integer type. Now let's run some code to explain what we mean by this. Now that we're on the Go playground, go ahead and click line 9 and start typing in the following. FMT dot capital P RINT LN open parenthesis 2 with no quotation marks plus 2 close parenthesis. Now go ahead and run that. And as we can see, the first line prints out the name of the lesson, and the second line prints out the number 4. In this example, the number 2 is implied to be of the integer type. To keep this simple for now, integers are basically just whole numbers. Now, let's move on to floats. In Go, we have two types for representing decimal numbers, float 32 and float 64. The float 64 type is the default one used by Go when you write a decimal number without explicitly mentioning the type. Let's write some code to experiment with floats. So Renee, at the end of that line, press enter.
Number 9?
Yep.
Just enter.
Yes. Okay, now go ahead again and type in FMT.
So the FMT print ln, every time when you want to add something onto it, onto this whole code thing, you're basically repeating. You have to do that for each line that you are creating, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and there's some different ways to represent the things that get printed out on the screen, but to keep this simple, the print line is basically going to print out these different values that we're telling it to print out. Okay, so then we'll do another open parenthesis. And this time, let's do 5.0 plus 5.5, let's say. And then close parentheses, and go ahead and run that. Perfect. And as we can see, it prints out the number 10.5. Now let's shift our focus to Booleans. Booleans are a data type that can only have one of two values, true or false. They're incredibly useful for making decisions and controlling the flow of your code. So Renee, again, go ahead and press enter at the end of that line. And let's type in fmt.println, open parentheses, and then just type the word true with no quotation marks. And go ahead, close parenthesis, and go ahead and run that. And as we can see, right now this just prints out the value of true. Later on, when we talk about conditional logic, we'll explain how this can be used in more detail to control the execution of your code. Good job, Renee. We're making some good progress. The last step in this lesson, we have strings. So once again, at the end of that line, go ahead and press enter. Strings are used to represent textual data in Go. They're typically enclosed within double quotes. This should be pretty familiar as we ran an example of this in our Hello World lesson. So go ahead and type in fmt.println, open parenthesis, quotation mark, and go ahead and type in woof woof. Close quotation mark and close parenthesis. Now go ahead and run it. Excellent. And we can see that it prints out woof woof. As we can see, by enclosing our words inside quotation marks, we're implying that the data type is a string. There are many other data types in Go, but these are good enough to prepare us for the upcoming lessons. You're really getting the hang of this, Renee. Do you have any questions for me so far?
So what would happen if I was to, like, let's say, well, let me see. 2 plus.
So in this case, you can see that by wrapping 2 plus woof woof in quotes, it treats it as a string. Now let's do something a little bit different. Let's erase the quotation mark in front of the 2 and put a quotation mark in front of the W of the first woof. Perfect. Let's go ahead and run that. Okay. Didn't quite work out how we expected, did it? The reason for this is that 2 and woof woof are of different types. 2 is an integer and woof woof is a string. There are ways, believe it or not, to add these, but they require a little bit of extra work. And we'll cover that in later lessons. At this point, we've explored the basic data types in Go, including integers, floats, booleans, and strings. We've seen how to declare and use these data types in the Go playground, and we even performed some operations on them. Understanding the different data types is essential for structuring your programs. In the next lesson, we'll be covering operators and how they interact with these basic data types.